Hi, this is Vic Mignogna, voice of Edward Elric in Full Metal Alchemist. Captain Kirk in Star Trek continues. And do you know what the best podcast is? I'm going to tell you. Five-ish Fangirls, yeah!
The tangents this week continue all the way to episode 171 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. And yes, I know the calendar says 2018, but we're going to live in the past just for a little while longer. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week. We're on the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Bethlehem.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Chrissy sends her greetings from work.
Mm-hmm.
Making the money to keep the baby in the lifestyle to what he's yet become accustomed.
Mm-hmm.
Or something. Those binkies don't pay for themselves, right?
No, they don't.
So, anyway.
And if he needs another stuffed Yoda...
Exactly. Someone's got to pay for those. He's not earning his keep yet, so he doesn't even have a full set of teeth, so can't expect him to start earning a paycheck quite yet.
If he could pay for cuteness, he'd have it made.
Exactly. I like to say that if we could figure out how to make the world run on cute children and the energy that they seemingly have an endless supply of, we would be golden. But
Yes, we would.
Mm-hmm.
foreign oil, what? No, just run on toddlers. We'd be good. But until someone figures that out, it is what it is. Anyway. Moving on to news. So, and unfortunately, we have to start with some 10 o'clock news.
Yeah.
So, actor, and I hope I do not butcher his last name, Peter Weingard?
That sounds right.
Okay.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. That's kind of what it looks like, but it's probably close enough, hopefully. Sorry. He has passed away at the age of 90. So for those that, I guess, grew up in the 70s in the UK, I'm assuming this is a British television show that he was in. He played Detective Jason King in the TV show the same name, which apparently was partial inspiration for Austin Powers. Which was funny.
Is it weird that makes me kind of want to look that show up?
Yeah. But he also played Clytus in Flash Gordon and Timonov in Doctor Who. An episode of Doctor Who, so... but apparently his reputation as both an actor and just as a human being was well known in the acting community. He had developed quite a following, I guess, in the process, but apparently he was unwell, but even despite that and his age, he had roles and appearances lined up according to his agent, which, you know, if he managed to film anything before his passing, I guess, if and when those things are released, those will be added to his repertoire, his history, so... But, yeah. That's, just like always, you know, whenever an actor or someone like this passes away, it's unfortunate, and, you know, we, send our thoughts and well wishes to their family and friends, but their work allows them to live on in perpetuity. So. So there's that. 90. That's pretty good. 90
That
years
is
old. That is pretty good. So.
Nice long life.
Yes, it is. All right. Let's move on to happier news. First, some convention announcements. So, Planet Comic-Con has made a few more guest announcements, even though their convention is less than a month away, including Sonequa Martin Green, who's on Star Trek Discovery, Alan Tudyk, who is in everything,
Mm-hmm.
and a schedule change. Jason Momoa will now only be appearing on Saturday.
And if Alan Tudyk's around, keep an eye out for possibly a surprise Nathan Fillion, because I know for a while they were doing a mini TV series called Con Men,
Yes.
or Con Man.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
memory serves, I think either season 2 is in the works or being worked on or whatever, so you never know.
Yeah.
Not that I've heard anything, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Because I caught a couple episodes and they are based around conventions.
As one would guess by that name.
Prime material
Mm-hmm.
for the filming. So yeah, anyone that's attending Planet Comic-Con, there you go. Really. Indiana Comic-Con has made another guest announcement. Noah Schnapp, who plays Will on Stranger Things.
Cool.
He's going to be in Indiana Comic-Con. And then Indie PopCon made some more guest announcements, and these I did not know, so I can't claim any pre-knowledge on these particular announcements. But for I know I have friends that play this game a lot and really love it, and I know it's very, very popular. So Lucy Pohl and Carolina Ravassa, I hope I'm not butchering that completely. They are the voices of Mercy and Sombra in, respectively, in Overwatch. So that should be fun for all the Overwatch fans, and I know I've got a lot of friends who love playing Overwatch. So I know some of these characters just solely based on seeing their posts saying, I just spent 4 hours playing Overwatch and I scored this or whatever, and I'm not entirely sure because I'm not a gamer and I don't play Overwatch, but so, especially the cosplay community, I see someone walk by, I'm like, Tracer. I have no idea who exactly Tracer is, but I know a Tracer when I see one. So, and it was a Mercy actually that won best. Was it? That was PopCon. It was a gal with a Mercy cosplay that won the cosplay contest at PopCon last year. So maybe she'll come back and bring her cosplay and maybe be able to meet Mercy. Who knows? Anyway. And then we're still calling it Salt Lake Comic Con, but whatever you want to call it, FanX Salt Lake Comic Convention, SLCC, that one out in Salt Lake that's Chrissy's home convention. They have announced Carl Urban will be
Nice.
in Salt Lake, so that's rather exciting. And then in grab your cup of tea and your fanciest hat news, we're getting another royal wedding this year.
Yep.
So now we're getting 2. Well, so excited. So today the British monarchy announced the engagement of one of the daughters of
Fergie.
Yes, one of the daughters of Fergie and Prince Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
And to if I can get this open so I can get the guy's name right, or fiance's name right, and who exactly the heck he is. Apparently they've been together for like 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah. They've been together quite a while. That, and I want to get the name of the stone in her ring correctly, so I want to make sure that this gets open. Hopefully. If my thing... Come on, iPad! Work for me here.
Mr. Jack Brookshank.
Yes.
Thank you, Brittany.
I always said Crookshank. Like, no, wait, that's a cat.
Yeah.
That is Hermione's little pet. Yes.
Yeah, Brooks Bank.
Bank.
Yes. To Her Royal Highness Princess Eugene of York. Or as we just know her, Eugene. Princess Eugene. But they met while skiing at a Swiss resort. He proposed in front of a volcano in which is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
In Nicaragua, in front of a volcano in Nicaragua. But her engagement ring is it's a similar style to actually both. Well, it was Diana's ring, now Kate's, but also her Fergie's ring, where it's the colored center stone surrounded by a bunch of diamonds, kind of looks like a flower, so it's very low to the fingers. In this case, obviously, Diana's was a blue sapphire. Fergie's was a ruby, I believe. But Eugene's is a... I'm probably going to butcher this. Apparently, I can't pronounce anything today. Paradshah? I have no idea. Something like that. Sapphire. It's extremely rare. It's kind of a peachy salmon rosy color to it. So it almost looks like rose gold. If rose gold was a stone, that's almost what this looks like, at least based on the pictures. Apparently people just call it a P sapphire. Just the letter P, just because that's a mouthful. But yeah, so they are engaged to be married, and they will be getting married sometime in the autumn at St. George Chapel in Windsor. So probably won't be quite the big to-do like William and Kate's and Harry's will be here in a few months. Just because Eugene is not, in line for the throne or anything, or if she is, it's like really far down the list. Like her and her sister are like, at this point they're like 20th in line for the throne or something. Just because the way the line of succession goes. So it probably, it'll still be a decent affair because it's still a royal wedding, but there's tears on how big the soiree and whether it would be broadcast live and potentially be a national holiday and that sort of thing. So, but we can expect probably most everyone in attendance, including Kate and William and the children and the Queen and all that fun stuff. So it's always a fun time to break out the fine china, your fine tea set, and your best hat. So And to drool all over all the pictures on all the amazing outfits everyone will be wearing.
Mm-hmm. And to see what kind of fascinators they're wearing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see what Eugene chooses as far as her wedding dress, too, because her and her sister are a bit more experimental with their wardrobe as opposed to someone like Kate, who's she doesn't tend to push the boundaries very much as far as her wardrobe. She sticks to the same silhouette and colors, and but both Eugene and Beatrice, if you ever see them at events, they go for wild patterns and crazy silhouettes and stuff. So I'm sure it'll be toned down somewhat, just because anything with the queen in attendance, especially a wedding, I'm sure there's some protocol that has to be followed, but at the same time, it's like, go crazy, come on.
I know she got a little flack during one of the two sisters got a little flack during William and Kate's wedding for the fascinator that she wore, because it kind of looked like an octopus type deal.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah. When you're 20th in line for the throne, I guess you get a bit more leeway. I don't know. To see what everyone wears, and the fact that we get 2 weddings in 1 year and a new royal baby. Oh,
yeah.
2018 is going to be an exciting year for the British royal family.
Mm-hmm.
So, yay! Alrighty.
I'll be glued to our screens watching from.
Yeah. So, or at the very least, a Twitter feed. If it's not being live fed on something, let's stick to the Twitter and just, the hashtags constantly refresh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like conventions.
A little bit. A little bit. This is my D23 Expo this year, so 2 royal weddings and a royal baby watch. So, all right. Well, moving back here to stuff in the States. Award season again, full swing. The SAG Awards were over the weekend, and we've got, of course, winners in the various categories, and once again, the major acting and film and TV categories, all stuff that none of us watch. It based on the winners, at least as far as film goes. At this point, TV is pretty almost done as far as their award season. I think it's pretty much film leading into the Academy Awards. Although we haven't had the Emmys yet this year, right?
No, I don't think we have.
Okay.
Coming up.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So we have the Emmys still to go with TV and film, right? Or the Emmys are just TV. It's so hard to keep track.
Yeah, the Emmys are just TV.
Okay, so we got the Emmys left for TV, and then we got the Academy Awards, which the Academy Award nominations are tomorrow.
Yeah.
Getting announced tomorrow. So there probably won't be a whole lot of surprises, because just based on what's been nominated and is winning, this stuff tends to be repetitive. So at this point, but anyway, a few winners that we do care about, including Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Drama Series. Claire Foy won for The Crown.
Woohoo.
And then Outstanding Action Performance by a Stunt Ensemble in a Comedy, Drama, or Series. Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never understood why comedy and drama were together, though. But
Outstanding Action Performance by a Stunt Ensemble in a Motion Picture. Wonder Woman.
Yep.
So, totally down for those.
mm-hmm.
Woohoo. And then this is a kind of a surprise, because this is not the game. This is not the essentially Harry Potter skinned Pokemon Go that we're getting from Niantic later this year. This is different.
Yeah.
But there is there is a new Harry Potter mobile game coming. So it's called Hogwarts Mystery. And it's being made by a company called Jam City, which is kind of a cool name.
What is real like?
It's what's the name of your company?
They normally have like bubble posting games. Like I have one that's from Jam City.
Yeah.
So it seems weird, but never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, no. It's like, you're out there meeting someone and it's like, oh, you're like, what do you do? It's like, oh, we're a mobile game developer. It's like, oh yeah, what's the company name? Jam City. Anyway, so Hogwarts Mystery is a mobile role-playing game, RPG, that opens in the years before Harry came to the school, but after his birth. It's a story-driven game with a twist. You are the focus. So you get to create your own student, right down to selecting a pet, and then when you enroll, you get sorted, and then you go through what it's like to be a Hogwarts student. So
Ooh, cool.
they haven't revealed a whole lot. There's a trailer, and I think they just released a bunch of stills. But they promise both major and smaller story arcs, relationship-oriented quests. There's a lot of the things that you would expect from going to Hogwarts, classes with teachers you know, making friends, making enemies, learning more magical skills, even wizarding duels. But the game itself is actually going to launch in a few months, but if you're attending a celebration of Harry Potter at Universal Studios in Orlando this coming weekend, this week, they are going to have a panel with people from Jam City, and they get a chance to learn more about the game.
I wonder how much is going to be hushed up.
Yeah. So if any of our listeners happen to be in that area and happen to be at these panels, please send us some feedback with a report.
Yes.
If you're allowed.
Yes.
If you're allowed.
We don't want you getting in trouble.
If they made you sign a non-disclosure agreement, then keep it to yourself.
Yes.
But
yes.
We don't want anyone getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Do not get in trouble just for us.
Like the way it sounds like this sounds like it's probably gonna be like a paid app because it sounds like there's a lot to it.
It's probably a microtransaction game. Probably it's like you'll get to you can either play and earn stuff or you can pay 99 cents here.
Kind of like a freemium. Type.
Freemium game. So,
I know I'm gonna try it out.
Just what I need. Something else to go on my phone.
Yeah.
And that's without the Niantic Harry Potter game that's coming out later this year. It's essentially going to be Pokemon Go with Harry Potter, so.
I'm just curious of how that one's even going to walk out, like. They haven't gotten any details about that one either.
Yeah.
No. It's like you chase and find dark wizards and.
I don't know.
Actually, that would be fun.
Catch Hagrid's magical creatures instead of Pokemon.
Bingo. I was Rachel reading my mind.
Yeah, or Newt's Commanders.
Ooh, yes.
I mean, there is a new Fantastic Beast coming out this year, so.
I don't know. We'll find out later this year, so.
Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to find the Niffler.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need it.
Yep. I'm down. I'm totally down. So awesome sauce. So. All right. Well, that's kind of it for news. A little bit of housekeeping. I did want to mention, just in case you happen to miss us sharing it on Facebook and or Instagram, but our friends over at Who North America are trying to build up their YouTube channel. And yes, they have a YouTube channel. It's and actually I talked to Janie earlier with some suggestions on how to improve their channel, but they're trying to if you're not aware, YouTube/Google has recently changed their parameters on who can earn ad revenue on their YouTube videos. So it used to be really easy. You had like the minimum threshold was really low, but that's created its own set of problems. A lot of cooks in the kitchen, essentially. So they have recently changed those parameters to requiring a minimum of 1,000 subscribers, and I think it's 4,000 minutes watched on your channel over the last 12 months, which sounds like a lot, but if you're putting up videos consistently, that's generating more content and more minutes people can watch. So if you had 1,000 subscribers and they all watched, 4 minutes of your videos over the last over the course of 12 months, there's your 4,000 minutes. So there you go. But Who North America, they have got a video podcast up on their channel, and they're not super long videos. They're real short. They're like 5-6 minutes long. They've got 13 of them up right now, and they show off things like merchandise in the store and demoing them. They've been showing clips from when they had Peter Davison as a guest several years ago, from his Q&A. They're showing pieces that are in their museum and talking about the history of those pieces, who manufactured them, how rare they are, what the going price is, if you're trying to get the same item, today, that sort of thing. So it's short, sweet, everything, but if you're a Doctor Who fan, you want to get to know Who North America better and get some fun behind the scenes type stuff, then go check them out. But they're trying to get to the 100, and I think when I checked it earlier, it was like 870 something or 880 something. So they're close. They were at like 600 a couple weeks ago. So
I just subscribed. I was 886.
There you go. So they're at 886 as of Brittany subscribing. So, but if they can get to that 1,000 subscribers, then they won't lose their ad revenue, and that's what they're using to help fund the museum expansion. So you help them out, and it doesn't cost you anything except taking the time to go hit that subscribe button. So, and as they continue to generate content, like they're because I think Keith is pretty much doing everything on his own as far as filming everything and editing and that sort of thing. But I was there back when starting to figure out how to do this whole video thing. And, it takes time and practice. And I think you can see with each video that, he's getting more comfortable filming and editing. And Keith is just, goofy in front of the camera. So, but they're good people. And, I told them that, we're more than happy to promote your YouTube channel to our listeners. So.
Yes.
There's that. And then the book club poll is up for
yes, it is.
February's choices. So go vote for February's book.
Yep. 1/12th Doctor and then some old 9th Doctor. I was kind of going back through to see what we had for for the list, and we've got plenty of material to pick and choose from.
Yeah.
Between kind of what I know what's coming out,
yeah,
and stuff that we haven't even touched yet.
Yeah, you're like checking, like hitting refresh on Candy Jar Books. Like, okay, what's getting released when?
Between
Thank
the
you,
Candy
Andy.
Jar and then the the new stuff, the novelizations, and then I know we talked about maybe possibly doing a month where we pick a biography. So we've got a TARDIS-sized poll list that we could do, but I'm only limited it to 4 or 5 a month.
Our library is not in the pool.
No. Not waterlogged.
Nope. Not at all. So yes, go vote for your choice for February for the book club.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's move on to this week's topic, which I have to give a thank you to the fabulous folks who do the True North Nerds podcast. I know I've mentioned them before. It's my friend Kevin is one of the hosts, but they're essentially our show. Same idea where it's friends get together. They talk about geeky stuff, but they're all Canadian, hence True North Nerds. But they're awesome people. Just from what I listen to, Kevin's the only one I know personally. But if they're friends of Kevin, then I'm sure they're cool. But they just released a show doing this same topic. I know we have done the last couple of years. We've done the fandom year in review, but that's really just looking back and kind of reminding ourselves some of the notable things that have happened, good and bad, unfortunately, when we do that, the year in review. But what they did was they did their favorite geeky picks from 2017. Their show's only been around for a year, so this is their first time doing this. And I was like, "Oh, that's a good idea." Means we're going to continue to look backwards into 2017, but hey, January's slow, so we might as well just continue the retrospective until we get into the more exciting stuff in the spring, I guess. So unlike the Fandom Year in Review, where we just try to cover remind ourselves and look back and talk about as much as possible, like I said, good and bad. This is just going to be the good, and so the stuff we talk about in the year in review. It's not necessarily stuff that we really loved. It's just, hey, this was a thing that was released, or this is a thing that happened. And it tends to be, movies and TV shows, and unfortunately a lot of celebrity deaths, which is the bad part of it. Cancellations, that sort of thing. This is the stuff that, we look back on 2017 and go, that was awesome. I love that. If I could go back in time and, relive that, or, see that for the first time again, that would be cool. That sort of thing. So that's the difference, I guess, between year in review and favorites. So that makes sense. Hopefully. It makes sense in my head. So. Yep. So we're not necessarily going to do this in any particular order. I guess we, to keep it from getting too all over the place, I guess we could kind of go through categories.
Sure. That works for me.
Yeah. So I guess we
kind of do a round robin.
Yeah, and just do a round robin. So I guess the easiest would be movies. So because there was a lot. So the hardest part of this is trying to figure out what was actually in 2017 and not older than that, because after a while stuff starts to blend together.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
I mean, 2 movies that come springing to my mind right now are Thor Ragnarok and The Last Jedi.
Yes. Absolutely. So those were definite highlights. I mean, we got How many Marvel movies did we get last year? 2, 3?
Three.
3.
We had Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy,
and Thor
and Thor.
Ragnarok. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I can't even remember.
Mhm.
Sorry. I mean, yeah, we got 3 Marvel movies last year, which was, and we're getting 3 this year too. But
Yeah, and to tell, I mean, that was kind of unheard of because
Yeah.
usually it was like one a year.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, just Marvel is 3 big highlights for
Mhm.
2017, and then The Last Jedi, which was pretty awesome as well. I think, as I had mentioned when we did our Fandomian review, just trying to, me personally, like, how many movies did I see? And even just based on the Regal Movies app that I have on my phone, which shows, if I remember to scan my loyalty card, it keeps track of movie tickets I bought. So in 2017, I saw, and these were all good movies, Logan, which was really good. Beauty and the Beast, the live action remake, that was really good. That made me all feel like a child again. The Lego Batman movie, which really was one of the best DC movies ever. And probably one of the best Batman movies, actually, ever.
Considering how that's Lego.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
The Lego movies were really surprising. When the first Lego movie came out, and all these people were like, "Oh my god, this is so good! It's so funny." And I was like, "It's Legos. How good can it be?" And then I finally watched them. Like, this is awesome.
Ha ha.
Ha ha ha! Everything is awesome. Of course, Power Rangers.
That was this year, or last year.
Yep, that was in 2017. So Guardians of the Galaxy. I did enjoy Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. So
there was one that I saw that critics kind of panned, Galarian.
See, I haven't seen that one yet.
Decent. The special effects and just the way that they did the world and the animals, it was just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The acting I thought was pretty decent, but I could see where they might have quibbled a little bit with a couple of the actor and actress choices, but I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I've always loved the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Oh, and you can't go wrong with Johnny Depp either. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, yes, he's probably getting a bit old to be playing, a drunk pirate, but
Mm-hmm.
but it's so entertaining. And the nice thing is they managed to finally tie up some loose threads from the previous movies. 4, not so much. You could almost skip the 4th movie and be fine. But
was the 4th movie kind of the one with him walking in that white thing with
that was
himself?
No, that was the 3rd one. The 4th one is
the
one with,
3rd one. Okay.
Yeah, the 4th one is the one with Penelope Cruz and the mermaids.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you could watch 1, 2, and 5, or 1, 2, 3, and 5, and probably not even know what you were missing with the 4th movie. But they did tie up some loose ends with especially the 3rd movie. But then left it open for potentially more. So, which is nice, because you're never gonna close the door completely on a franchise, no matter how long in the tooth it may be getting. So, but I love these movies. I love Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow, and the music's always fun, and the stunts are usually pretty cool. The situations that they get Captain Jack into, and for him to get out of them, is pretty cool. It usually involves some pretty ridiculous and amazing stunt work. So yeah, I have no complaints there.
And the way Captain Jack just kind of blunders along with no plan and manages to come off scot-free pretty much.
Yeah. And then towards the end of the year, I think I mentioned this really quickly, but I did get to see Murder on the Orient Express.
How was that?
That was pretty good. I've never read the book, so I had no idea how it ended and who done it. And I was genuinely surprised. I thought I'd figured it out, and then something would happen. I'd be like, no, but that doesn't work into my theory. So when you get the final reveal of who did it at the end, I'm like, okay, all right. It's one of those that, if you watched it again and hadn't known how it ended, you're going to lose that surprise. But it's almost like the Ocean's movies, where I think you could watch it again and watch for the clues that you missed the first time.
I always have fun doing that.
Yeah, because that's one of the things I really loved about the Ocean's movies, is they get to the reveal at the end and then show you like all their little maneuvers and everything that they did that you completely missed the first time. And then you're going to watch it again and be like, oh, that's where they're doing the switch thing and it's like, okay.
So, and you watch it like, I should have caught that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and here's what that bump was accidental, and they lifted this from said person.
Exactly. So this is kind of like that, Murder on the Orient Express. Plus, it's just a gorgeous movie, because of the time period and the costumes, and it's a who's who as far as actors are concerned. So it's really good. It was really good. So. And then, of course, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was awesome. So, anything else movie-wise?
Well, I saw The Greatest Showman around Christmas time. That was I've been reading more about how he actually was, but I ignore that because the movie was just really amazing. The music was phenomenal. I've listened to the soundtrack I don't know how many times. And it has one of that feel good stories, and
I haven't seen it yet. I want to. I love musicals. So.
Yes. And Hugh Jackman is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm always amazed. It always amuses me when I was young of finding out that Hugh Jackman can sing and dance and all that. Because the first thing I ever saw him was Wolverine.
Yeah, I was saying. If you look at 2017, Hugh Jackman started the year, in his last go as Wolverine, gray-haired and battered and bloody and just, rated R X-Men movie where it's just brutal. And then he ends the year in a feel-good Hollywood musical. That's Hollywood for you. That also shows his range as an actor, so.
Indeed.
No, I don't think there was anything else, at least not in theaters that I saw. So, I mean, I did watch stuff on Netflix, documentaries, some documentaries. I'd watched Lady Gaga's documentary on Netflix of 5'3", which essentially follows her leading up to her Super Bowl performance. And that's was quite good to see, to watch her work on material for her last album and try to film like music videos and, work on everything for the Super Bowl performance, while still trying to, have a social life. And she had injured herself several years ago. I think it was her hips.
Mm-hmm.
And she's had problems with them ever since. So you see her going to like physical therapy and getting acupuncture and massages and just trying to, not just, even if you aren't a, multimillionaire superstar singer, dancer, performer, anyone with a chronic injury or chronic pain or chronic illness, just trying to function. I feel for her with I've got, not nearly to the extent as her, but I've got aches and pains that on some days they're just excruciating, and you still have to figure out how to try to function and be a human. Is it's kind of devastating sometimes. So I totally sympathize with her. With that, but that dropped on Netflix earlier this year, so I watched that, which was good. So I really like watching documentaries on Netflix. So
That's all good.
Yeah, so that was good. And then I did watch, and I didn't watch that in 2017 though. And it's actually older than that, but I don't know how long it's been on Netflix. But I did watch this, I guess you could call it a documentary, about the Queen. And it was like a kind of a movie that Prince Charles had put together for the Queen's 90th birthday. So, and her birthday was in 2000. Her 90th was in 2016. Because she and Chauncey's grandmother are the same age. So, they were born in the same year. But it's up on Netflix now. And I don't think it maybe went up on Netflix in 2017. I'm not entirely sure.
Was it the Queen at 90, Elizabeth at 90?
Yeah.
I remember seeing
I just found it recently.
I mean to watch that.
Yeah, I remember them talking about making it for the Queen's birthday, and then I think maybe and PBS may have aired it too, and I just completely missed it. But yeah, that's quite fun because they show like all these old home movies from all the way back to when the Queen was an infant up to now, and they have some, where she's watching it and she's giving comments. They have some of it where, it's Charles or William and Harry watching and commenting on it, or Princess Anne, or, the Queen's, one of the Queen's cousins watching it and making comment, giving kind of running commentary. I mean, some of this footage I've never seen before. It's stuff they've kept private up until a few years ago. Plus, it's always fun to see the generations of the Queen's corgis. Because the Queen has had corgis for pretty much her entire life. So every now and then you get, like corgis in the 70s or corgis in the 90s. It's like, corgis! No. Anyway. Any other movies or anything that fits in that category?
Not
I'm trying
think of.
I saw movies that were new to me, but they won't.
Yes.
Yeah. And for the life of me, I can't even remember what they were now.
Yeah. It's like
the release dates don't match with the 2017.
Yeah. It's like I watched Flash Gordon for the first time in 2017, but it didn't come out in 2017.
Nope.
Doesn't quite count. So. All right. Well, okay.
Ooh, boy. Top of the list. Besides Stranger Things 2, The Orville.
Yes, that caught me by surprise. How much
big
I
time
like.
by surprise.
It seems to have caught a lot of people surprise. Like, leading into it, everyone saw, they look at the TV listings and they saw new Star Trek with Star Trek Discovery. And, all the Star Trek fans are like, yay, new Star Trek on TV for the first time in a bazillion years. And then the Orville, which I think most people assumed was just Seth MacFarlane poking fun at Star Trek. And now that they're both out, like, they seem to have switched.
Mm-hmm.
And, because people thought the Orville was going to be crap, and they thought Star Trek Discovery was going to be awesome. And based on my Facebook feed, it's the other way around.
Yep.
Or then I know a few people who are like, they're both good.
Yeah.
Because at first, I know the only stuff that I knew Seth MacFarlane was, his Family Guy and The American Dad, those kind of things. I'm just like, oh, great, is this Orville going to be like a live base? Yeah, type deal. And I was very, very pleasantly surprised. I'm like, yes.
It has humor. It has, like, a bit of that kind of humor that you would expect from him.
Right.
But it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of
some of the stories, and the character interactions, and man.
I still laugh,
deep
though.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I still laugh a little when someone mentions it by name, though, because all I think is Orville Redenbacher, the popcorn.
Yep.
Like, no, wait, that's not what they're talking about.
Nope.
They're talking about a TV show.
Yep. Nope. Not the Redenbacher.
Yeah. So, I actually have not watched either yet, and the more I hear people talk about the Orville, and, like, as much as I don't like Seth MacFarlane, I kind of want to watch it, but I think I'm going to wait until the season is actually done.
It's been done.
Yeah, it's been done for a while. They had a short first season pickup.
Yeah, okay. So, and then Discovery's not quite done yet. With its first season.
Nope.
I don't know. I
believe Discovery's done too.
I don't think so. It was on like a winter hiatus and then just came back.
Okay.
So, from what I understand, but both have already been picked up for a second season. Mm-hmm. So, from what I understand, they're on the list. Both of them. Just there's one of those. It's like I can only offer. I can only actually schedule coming in and sitting down in front of my TV at a particular time to catch something live. Mm-hmm. And so I have to pick and choose my battles, and at the moment it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the X-Files. So
yes. Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of which,
yes.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Not necessarily
Holy cow.
Not necessarily the. I know the current season started in 2017, and I mean the current season has been awesome, but the last season with the Ghost Rider LMD storylines, holy crap! Especially the Ghost Rider storyline, so good, so good. Seriously, if you're not watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you're one of those people that like gave up during season 1 because it was too slow for you,
come back.
Come back.
Yes.
Seriously. Go, wherever you left off in season 1, just go pick it up right after Winter Soldier and just go with it, and you will not be disappointed. So, because it is, with every season, it's finding more of its footing and its stride, and, it's pushing your perceptions on what you think a comic book superhero, quote unquote superhero TV show, should be. And it's so good. It's getting ready to have its 100th episode next month, it's I don't know what they've got in store, but I'm so excited.
I wonder they're gonna bring back, because like a lot of times, like the 100 episodes, they bring back people. So like I'm trying to curious of.
I don't know. I mean, considering what they're doing right now, I have no idea how this is gonna to play out and how what surprises they may have in store for the 100th episode, how that may factor into the current storyline. But it's just so good. It's so funny though. Doing the Marvel, the MCU rewatch of all the movies leading up to getting ready for Infinity War, and I watched Iron Man 2 this past Thursday night, and then watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Friday night, and seeing Clark Gregg from 2009, 10-ish to 2008, I'm like, oh, Coulson, you've been through some things.
Tony Stark could see you now.
Yeah, he's gone from threatening Tony Stark to to tase him and watching Super Nanny while he drools on the floor to bad Mama Jamma Coulson. So
yeah.
It's like, oh, you've gotten a little older, Phil. Well, a little road weary. A little tired there. But yeah, no. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in this last year has just been so good. So good. Absolute favorite. So. And really, I mean, that's really what I've been, like, made sure that I've been, that's the one show that I make sure that I'm home for. Regardless of what night it's been on. Yeah, the change from Tuesday to Friday has been a bit weird. But I've been okay with it. So, because I don't go out on Friday nights, so it doesn't bother me any. Gives me something exciting to look forward to on Friday nights, essentially. But, yeah, I mean, that and Once Upon a Time, but I don't think I want to talk about Once Upon a Time. I don't think Once Upon a Time last year was really a highlight. It was okay. I wouldn't call that a favorite. It was alright. Although the musical episode was pretty fun. I will give them that. So.
Well, pretty sure I've mentioned it plenty of times, but I'm really loving The Good Doctor. It's like, I love medical dramas, and it has, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like only a few episodes because it just started last year, of course. But like, you can have like the character growths, the characters, and seeing the growth, especially of Sean, Freddie Highmore's character. And
that's cool. Yeah. Medical dramas are a weird thing because it's like, a lot of these shows are character driven, but with medical, anything involving, hospitals and that sort of thing, you kind of, you either have to try to make it as realistic as possible, or you do like the most ridiculous things that, while they may actually still be possible, something like that could actually happen, the odds of it aren't very likely. Like something like Grey's Anatomy, which I don't know why that show is still on the air.
Apparently it's getting a spin-off too. It's like,
oh my god,
why?
It needs to go away. I'm so over it. But they get in like these ridiculous situations involving, plane crashes that kill like half of the doctors on the show, and all these crazy things. And
we had someone like had a bomb inside of the stomach somehow.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that possibly could have happened, but probably not really. But then you get something like House, which I think was, as far as the medicine was concerned, I think was closer to reality.
Yeah.
But then you had the compelling characters to go with it, which I loved House.
Me too.
Well, the cool thing is the creators of House also work on The Good Doctor.
Yeah, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. Again, it's one that's on my list. And the fact that
it's a good show, but definitely it hurts the heart.
Yeah.
Like this last episode from last week had me crying. It was like, oh my god.
Well, then another good series that I kind of enjoyed, which kind of brings back to our topic that we were thinking about talking and doing between book and TV translation, American Gods.
That's on my list.
Yeah,
from Stars. It's good. It can get a little graphic. I mean, not Game of Thrones graphic, but I mean, it's a Neil Gaiman book. Ian McShane guest stars. Gillian Anderson guest stars. Kristen Hemsworth guest stars. Or Chenoweth, I'm sorry. Not Hemsworth. Chenoweth guest stars. So, yeah, it was enjoyable. I'm looking forward to season 2. If you haven't read the book, you really don't need to, because they do kind of twist and turn a little bit with some of the character background. But I mean, it's still good, even if you want to read the book to at least kind of have somewhat of an idea as to where it's going. So, that one I enjoyed.
Another one, a surprising one for me, is called Kevin Probably Saves the World.
How is that?
It's really good. It's about this guy, Kevin, who isn't like the most... He's not like a good person. I mean, he's not like a horrible bad guy, but he's like selfish and...
Average?
Yeah, average.
Yeah.
But then something happens and he became one of the righteous. And so he has like this, not necessarily guardian angel, but like a helper, I guess, a guide type thing. And he has to find like the other righteouses and help people have better lives.
Huh. Interesting.
Not sure I wasn't expecting to like as much as I am.
I've got another friend that's watching that, and she's really enjoying it, and is hoping that it's not one that gets the axe anytime soon.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it yet, but if it's...
Because the past couple of years, there's been a lot of one and done TV shows. I'm looking at you forever. I want you back.
Yeah, really.
Yes. Ironically, this is on the same network and same time and day as Forever was on ABC's Tuesdays at 10.
Yeah. Well, and then, obviously in 2017 we got another season of Fuller House, which was good. I mean, it's Full House is what it is, so it's typical, as far as the storylines. It's something happens and something needs to get resolved, and always gets resolved within 30 minutes, and everyone hugs it out. Spoiler: the Olsen twins still not bothered to make an appearance. But and then we got season 2 of The Crown, which was really good. And then I think, besides Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., probably my 2 favorite shows to watch in 2017 weren't new, but had really, really good seasons. Game of Thrones, obviously. This last season was amazing.
Oh, yes, it was. yes.
So good.
With a couple of holy crap, I can't believe they went there moments.
Oh, yes.
I think we could basically hear each other screaming and using colorful metaphors from wherever we were watching.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was some, language that pretty sure my mother would probably yell at me for using.
Well, the captain would be very disappointed in us.
Yes.
Yes. I do love how you use that joke.
Yeah. If there's a swear jar at Avengers Tower, we'd be adding to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it makes me so excited for the finale season in 2019.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, we're in 2018, so that means we're a year away.
Yeah.
Yay!
And some change probably. So
Yeah.
the presiding theory is that Game of Thrones more than likely will be back by no later than sometime in April 2019, because the season has to start airing by a certain cutoff date to be eligible for all the awards.
Okay.
So,
makes sense.
I'd imagine last season for Game of Thrones, HBO is going to want it to be eligible for everything. So there's a particular cutoff date, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what it is, but I think it's sometime in April, and it's like the first episode or the first 2 or 3 episodes have to have aired by that date for it to be eligible for like the Golden Globes and the Emmys and the SAGs and all the stuff like that. So.
Can we say Easter Sunday is Easter?
It might be. It might be Easter Saturday.
Actually, be Sunday because Game of Thrones is Sunday, so it would actually be on Easter.
Yeah, that's possible. So,
Quick.
yeah, there's a video. Charlie from Emergency Awesome, which I love his Game of Thrones content. He posted a video explaining it. So I'll put it in the show notes if anyone wants to watch it. But he explained how it works as far as the rules for all the awards and everything, and that's probably the logic as far as when we'll see it come back. So, because they're actively filming right now, some people are done already, and then the rest of the year will be post-production. They're still filming stuff. They've still got a lot to film. And then like summer, fall will be post-production more than likely, and probably the earliest we'll see any kind of teaser or anything will probably be San Diego Comic-Con. So
yeah,
more than likely. But anyway, yeah.
Easter Sunday for 2019 is April 21st.
So there you go. So, and speaking of Easter Saturday, the other show that had a really good season in 2017, Doctor Who.
Oh, yes.
So we cannot not mention Peter Capaldi's last season as the Doctor.
We would be remiss.
Yes, with Pearl Mackie as Bill and
well, heck, even Nardole.
Yes.
he was good.
Yes. Yeah. And Michelle Gomez as Missy, and the return of John Sim as the Master.
Yep.
So this was such a good season. I'm still sad that it was Peter's last, but I mean.
Well, and Stephen Moffat's too. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker can do, but it's just like, oh my gosh, end of the era.
Yeah, it's like Doctor Who came back Easter Saturday. It did, actually, 2017. It was Easter Saturday.
Sean got it right.
Yeah. And before we know it, the season's over. It's like, what was it? Close to 4th of July weekend is when the season finale aired. So it's like we went from Easter to 4th of July, and boom, Doctor Who's done.
And then we had to sit and twiddle our thumbs.
Yeah, until Christmas.
Fingers until Christmas.
Real quick, can I go back to previous conversation?
No.
I looked it up.
Yeah.
The eligibility period for awards is between June 1st of the year before and May 30th.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So clear your calendars and make your
Yeah.
make your predictions.
Yeah. So, more than likely, Game of Thrones will be back before that cutoff. So,
Yes.
Yep.
which is fine by me.
Well, then to fit a show that's been on for a while but had another good season, Outlander season 3 was just awesome. It picks up with book 3 and Claire living her life in Boston with her Frank and her daughter and the other things that happen, and then her coming back in the reunion scene with Jamie. Just a real good season. Looking forward to season 4 when it gets around to it. So
Yep.
and for those of you don't need to read the books, but if you're afraid of the doorstop size, go to the library, check out the audiobooks. You won't be disappointed.
That's good to know. I'm picky when it comes to audiobooks.
Davina Porter does a fantastic job.
That's good.
Narrating.
Cool.
Yes, I've read the books and I do have the audios. It's nice.
Yeah.
I do that too. Like, I like listening to, if I can find good ones, I like listening to audios, even if I've already read the books.
Because she will draw you in, and she does a fantastic job of making sure each character has their own voice.
That's good.
She does her own version of Claire. She does a good Jamie. She does a good Dougal. She does a good Gillis Duncan. So, can't say enough.
Good to know.
Yep.
All right. Anything else TV-wise?
Most of the other things I'm binging on old stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I've been watching the older X-Files.
Yeah. It's like I'm still working my way through 25 years of Power Rangers. So.
Yeah, because I've been going back through old X-Files, old Supernatural, old Highlander,
Yeah.
which I haven't seen in I don't know how long, but, going back and rediscovering some of the awesomeness that it's at. So you could kind of call it the rediscovery year season, like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a reason why I fell in love with this fandom way back when. And it still holds.
Yep.
I'm doing person of interest. That's how I've been with that. I was like, oh yeah, this is why I watch it, why I yell and scream at the show.
I don't yell at the TV when I'm watching shows, said no one ever.
I was going to say.
Our trats betray you, Rachel.
If our chats have anything to say.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, the emoji stickers, the GIFs.
Yeah. There's a gift for every occasion.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Or a meme.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on from movies and TV shows to, I guess, audio? Music, or I guess you could lump Big Finish into that too, although I have not listened to Big Finish in such a long time. So my to-listen list is so long, and I really need to get on, especially now because I need to start doing some research for a panel I may be doing at PopCon. So, which,
Ooh.
you know, first world problems. Oh darn! I have to listen to Big Finish.
How are you gonna suffer through all that?
Woe is me.
What is
But I know-
Rachel to do?
Yeah, but Big Finish released a lot of really good audios in 2017. We saw the return of David Tennant as the 10th Doctor with both Donna Noble and Billie Piper as Rose. Just so, Big Finish is just cranking out such good quality, audios. And it was which is always a good thing. And then they keep extending the license with the BBC, and we're over here going, why? Thank you. But 2017 was a decent year as far as music was concerned. I didn't buy any albums per se or any new music. I've kind of gotten away actually from buying music for the most part, with a few exceptions, a few artists, but they've not released anything new recently.
I think most of my music purchases were movie soundtracks.
So movie
Right,
soundtracks, including Awesome Mix Volume 2.
Yep.
That was
Yeah,
one exception.
And then one exception is Bryan Adams had done a kind of a retrospective look on his career, and he released that. So
Nice. Yeah. But yeah, other than Awesome Mix Volume 2, actually, I really did not purchase procure any real any new music. Although,
or if I had the streaming option, I'd streamed before I decided, ooh, do I want to buy this?
Yeah. I tend to listen to the streaming apps, and just whatever pops up. You always have the option to skip if something comes up. You're like, I don't like this. Thumbs down, skip.
Yep.
The one exception, and I guess technically I didn't purchase this, and it didn't come out in 2017, but I did get it in 2017, was Metallica's last album. But that actually came out in 2016. But when Chauncey bought our concert tickets, we got a code to get the album for free. So essentially, if you bought a concert ticket, you got the album for free. So Chauncey already had the album. He already had it, but he went ahead and used the code to get the digital copy, physical copy with the deluxe cover and everything. And I just used it to redeem it for the digital copy because I don't have a working CD player, so physical copy wouldn't do me any good. Long story, but radio, CD player, car doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with mine.
Yeah, so pretty much everything has to be digital now, so I can just plug in my phone into my computer and just get it. I can put it on my phone or my iPad or whatever. So I did get Metallica's new album, even though that did not come out in 2017. But it was fun to listen to because I saw them twice in 2017.
Well, that's right, you did.
Which was pretty awesome. So
one of them you had very, very awesome seats.
Yeah. So we saw them in Chicago at Soldier Field, which is the football stadium. Where the Bears play. Duh, Bears.
Bears.
Yep. Bears. And we went with Chauncey's cousin and her husband. And I had seen Metallica once before. When Chauncey and I first started dating. And we saw them in Columbus, Ohio. At the basketball stadium that's on the campus the university campus there in Columbus, which actually I saw Paul McCartney at that exact same venue years before. So
Sweet.
yeah, so I was familiar with the venue. And at the time, I knew like one Metallica song. I went because I wanted to, it was something important to Chauncey. So I went to amuse him, and I wore earplugs, and I enjoyed myself for the most part. I didn't care for the opening acts, but Metallica was cool. I was like, whatever. And then over the course of being married to him and living with him and being stuck in the car with him, I've listened to a lot of Metallica, so it has grown on me. So I've gotten to know the music more. I have favorite songs and that sort of thing.
And I bet you know the difference between all three versions of Unforgiven.
Yes, I do. That is true. So when they released this last album, Hardwired, of course, we knew a tour would be coming eventually. So, we waited and waited until they started announcing U.S. dates. And Chauncey was like, we're going to see them as many times as possible. And then it turns out that we could only make 2 of the dates work, Chicago and Detroit. So we go to the Chicago show. That's the first of the 2. And unlike the first time that I saw them where we actually had seats, this time is general admission. So you stand out on the ground in front of the stage with, thousands of your closest friends who are all usually drunk at that point, but whatever.
And kind of want to turn it into a mosh pit.
Yes, and it turns into a mosh pit. I have seen moshing, so I knew logically what it was. It's a whole other ballgame to experience it.
I can imagine.
I did not actively participate in it, at least not by choice.
Right. You were just the innocent bystander.
I was the innocent bystander that, during the first 2 opening acts, which the first opening act was some local band, and then Avenged Sevenfold was like the more recognizable opening act, and it was okay. And then Metallica came out, and the crowd just lost their collective minds, and the moshing just became more intense, and we had gotten there early enough that we were pretty darn close. There probably was, I don't know, maybe 20 people between us and the stage, so we were close, not super close, but we were pretty close. But just, the moshing just got stupid out of control. We eventually hightailed it to closer to the back, closer to the soundboard.
Don't blame you.
And took yeah, well, after my foot got stepped on for about the 20th time, and my ankle got twisted, and I got beer spilled on me, I was kind of over it.
You were turning into an unhappy Rachel.
Yeah, so we retreated to the back. Which, from there, it was okay. There was still some moshing, but for the most part, that far back, it was more calm, especially next to all the sound equipment. Go take refuge over where all the expensive equipment is, and people are less stupid. So.
Right, because you break it, you bought it, you touched the wrong thing, and you can't hear the music anymore.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Exactly. Plus, you could see all like the projections and stuff up on the screen setup better too, which was nice. But so yeah, that was the Chicago show. That was interesting. So Detroit, we get out. Chicago's done, and we're like, okay, well, Detroit's in a month, and what Metallica does is their fan club, which is free to join, which is nice. Although Chauncey's been in it since you had to pay to join. What they do is, if you have concert tickets, you can take your confirmation, and if you've got a fan club membership, you can enter sweepstakes or a drawing for either a meet and greet, if they're doing meet and greets for that. It depends on the show. But they usually have a meet and greet with the band, or most of the band. James Hetfield does not do meet and greets at every show. So more often than not, you get 3 out of the 4. Sometimes you get James. Or you get upgraded to what is called the Snake Pit, which with Metallica's stage with this particular tour, they have the Snake Pit. It's the stage, goes across, it's wide widthwise if you're looking at it, just like any other performing stage. But then it also juts out into the audience, and then there's an opening in that kind of peninsula, and you can put people in there. But to make it fair, because otherwise stuff like that would just go to the people who have a crap ton of money and can pay, for a meet and greet or upgraded, to get into the Snake Pit. They just make it a lottery. So it's equal to everyone. So it doesn't matter how much you paid for your tickets. If you've got valid tickets, you can enter. Great. So we didn't win. We entered for Chicago, but we didn't win anything, which was good because we didn't necessarily want to get separated from the cousin and everything anyway. So Detroit was just Chauncey and I. So Chauncey the day comes that we know they're going to draw for, and you can enter both if you want, but you can only win one or the other. So the day comes that we knew that they were going to do the drawing, and I get the email saying, sorry you didn't win Snake Pit, and sorry you didn't win Meet and Greet. But then Chauncey gets the email saying, congratulations, you won Snake Pit passes. And we're like, yay! So, that was pretty darn awesome. So we get to Detroit, and we have to go to Will Call. We get our wristbands. So, we put those on. We have to go through security. And then we go down onto the field and then, flash our wristbands, and we get to walk by, and all the people are starting to build up outside the area, like where we stood for Chicago. But we get to go into the Snake Pit, and we get in there, and it's like the sound, the stage is wrapped all, you're inside the stage, and it's all the way around you. So when the band comes out, they're playing their guitars or whatever and walking around, and, you're kind of like a cat watching a laser pointer going like, Rob, James, what, Lars, who am I looking at? Because they're all around you, and it's so awesome.
Which way do I look now?
Exactly. And they don't mosh pit in the Snake Pit either, which was amazing. So, which was even better. So that was really, really cool. I mean, it was definitely probably a once in a lifetime thing. If we go see Metallica again, Chauncey's like, we'll get seats, where you can sit. You may still get beer spilled on you, but there's no moshing in actual seats normally.
Right.
Yes. Moshing and body surfing is reserved for people standing. It's like, if we get upgraded, if we happen to win Snake Pit again, great. But it's not likely. From here on out, maybe we'll just enter for the meet and greet. But but it was pretty awesome, especially considering the Detroit show we got to see Avenged Sevenfold again, which their set actually got cut short because of weather that was coming in, and they wanted to make sure that Metallica had as much opportunity to get their full set as possible before the weather set in. But since we'd already seen Avenged in Chicago, that was okay. And they did pretty much the exact same set anyway. But Volbeat was the other opening act, and I was so excited to finally get to see Volbeat. Volbeat is, they are kind of like Metallica meets Johnny Cash. They are
cool.
They are, I keep wanting to say they're Swedish, but I don't think they're Swedish. I think they're from Norway.
Okay.
Somewhere in the Scandinavias type part of Europe. But they're like a folk hard rock metal band. That's how I describe it.
That's a cool combination to have.
Yeah, so their music is really fun. they've gotten more popular, especially once Metallica discovered them. And James, at some point, someone in an interview once, several years ago, asked James, it's like, oh, who are you listening to these days? And Volbeat was one of them. He name dropped them. They kind of, propelled from there. And Chauncey started listening to them because James Hetfield recommended them. And I thought it was kind of catchy. And he and I were both be like, wouldn't it be cool if Volbeat and Metallica toured together at some point? And then they did. So,
both of you got your wish.
And we got our wish, and we got to see them both. So that was pretty awesome. And Volbeat's really good live, too. So, but Metallica is amazing live. Their production value is it's so high. It's definitely not for the faint of heart, and not a show you want to go to if you're someone that suffers from issues created by like flashing lights and lasers and that sort of thing. Because they use a lot of that, a lot of projections, a lot of lasers, a lot of flashing, a lot of pyro. That sort of thing. But if you like really high production value and metal, which I'm not really a metal fan by any means whatsoever, but Metallica puts on such a really good show that it's totally worth it. You still want to wear earplugs, but so. And the nice thing is they record all of their shows, and then you can buy the recording. So we didn't end it. I don't think Chauncey bought the Chicago one, but he did buy the listening to us in Detroit. But that's nice. Like, we were there for that.
Yeah, because I think some of the bands that are touring these days, even some of the older classic rock bands, they're starting to do that too. Mm-hmm. Which is really cool.
Yeah, because you get to relive.
Exactly.
If you were there, you get to relive it. So, which is pretty awesome. Oh, and that's another thing too from 2017, that it was unfortunate because it didn't quite work out the way it was supposed to. But Metallica's performance with Lady Gaga at the Grammys in 2017,
oh, yeah.
There was a technical issue. James's microphone did not work for pretty much the entire performance, and that really ticked him off. But yeah, that's an unfortunate thing that happened. But all things considering, though, Lady Gaga performing Metallica with Metallica was really cool. Mm-hmm. That's another favorite from 2017. Mm-hmm. But that was kind of one of my highlights from 2017, was seeing Metallica twice, and especially really close up the second time. But other than that, I didn't buy any music, really, other than the Awesome Mix Volume 2. I did see Weird Al again in 2017, so which he's always fun to watch. I love Weird Al.
I'd love to see him live.
Yeah, I've seen Weird Al 4 times, I think. So, yeah, he's a good show, too. I love going to see live music, concerts and stuff, so. In fact, he's coming to town in March.
Cool.
So.
I haven't been to many concerts. Actually, I've been to one. But I'm trying to fix that.
Yeah.
There's so many, and I live close to 2 very popular venues.
Yeah.
But it can get expensive.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Especially the bigger groups.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because even sometimes the cheap seat tickets are just like, whoa, okay, that's cheap seat price.
Yeah. Well, and if there's an artist that you really like and they don't come to your hometown,
or very often, then you pony up the money.
I mean, it was more than, let's see, 2000. 2003, and that was 2004-ish. So 9 years in between visits from Paul McCartney coming to Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
He came in like 2004, and I didn't get to see him then, and I was really upset. And then and then I saw him in Columbus, and then I saw him in Detroit, and then he finally came back to Indianapolis in 2013. So, and Metallica didn't come to Indianapolis. I mean, I had to go to Chicago and Detroit to see Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
you know, some of it is, you know, what type of tour they're doing. I mean, Metallica, they were doing big stadiums, so they needed, you know, basketball stadiums or football stadiums or baseball stadiums to, with just the sheer size of the stage and setup they were doing. It wouldn't work at, you know, your little local theater or like lawn amphitheater type, you know, like where I saw Weird Al. It was at the, you know, the lawn at White River State Park. You know, it's essentially, it's not an amphitheater because doesn't have the dome thing, but it's kind of the same idea where you sit on a lawn, lawn chairs, and watch a concert. So,
yeah.
So. First world problems. It's like, oh darn, this artist I want to see is not coming near me. I have to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh darn. I don't have much in the way of music. I guess other special events or type things. So I went to a crap ton of cons last year.
Not that I can think of events-wise, but...
Yeah, I didn't, dude.
One book that I read that came out in 2017 that I enjoyed was Renegades by Marissa Meyer. She's the one who did the Lunar series, and it's going to be a series. I
recognize that name.
It's a series of books, The Renegades, but it's kind of based in a superheroes type thing where there's two types of superheroes. One's called the Renegades, and I can't remember what the other one's called, but they're kind of fighting each other, trying to bring peace and harmony back to the world that they're living in. And it's a young adult novel. And then the other book that I read that was new to me, but didn't come out but it came out in 2011, that has a movie coming out this March, is Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Awesome read. I mean, a whole lot of 80s genre, you know, homages and everything to that.
Mm.
Worth the read. And if you don't like to read, I'm going to suggest the audio narrated by Will Wheaton. He does an awesome job. He does an awesome job. Because I read the book and I'm just like, And then when I did a search, I'm like, narrated by Will Wheaton. Sold.
That is awesome. Win.
Yes. So those are my 2 recommendations for books.
Yeah. We have Ready Player One, and Chauncey's already started to read it, so I gotta wait till he finishes it. So, no point in buying another copy when there's one that's already paid for. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it gets really good where you kind of want to steamroll through, but I actually slowed myself down to make it last a little bit longer and enjoy. Because there are twists and turns.
Yeah. I didn't really read anything new.
Yeah.
Because I spent almost all year trying to work my way through the Harry Potter reread in 2017. So,
or I was reading books that came out years before on my ever-growing to-be read pile.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Like,
yeah.
Stuff gets shuffled.
Yeah. I mean, I did read the first in the Lethbridge Stewart, series, The Forgotten Son from Candy Jar Books, but I know that came out a while ago because I'm behind.
Me too.
Yeah, and then I think I read, Engines of War, which is Doctor Who, but that was kind of not super old, but it wasn't brand new either. Although the one Librarians,
Oh yes,
the Magic Lamp,
the Magic Lamp. Yep.
yeah, and I haven't read the other one yet.
The Mother Goose. That one's good. That one is good.
It's on the list. Yes, I haven't gotten to it yet, though. Oh,
there
are
some very cute Cassie moments in it.
Yeah, and then again, it didn't come out in 2017, but I read it in 2017, and we had him on the podcast in 2017. Jeff Barnes,
yes,
The Wisdom of Walt.
That was an awesome book.
Yes, yeah, it's a good book. He's a really talented writer, and he was a great guest to have on the show. And
yes,
Jeff, I will get to your other book eventually.
Me too.
Yes. Like
I assure you, it is purchased and it is into my to be read pile.
Yeah. I really wanted to get that Harry before I went to Universal. So.
I don't blame you, considering where you visited.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was a definite highlight, but we'll get to that. So, but yeah, no. Other than rereading Harry Potter, that was pretty much all of my reading for 2017. So.
Most of my reading was fan fiction, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like I read more fan fiction than actual books lately.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
there's nothing wrong with that. You're reading.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yes, that is true. Well, and
you're reading for enjoyment.
Fan fiction tends to be easy because it's usually online, so you just can pull it up on your phone and, read something, spend, 15, 20 minutes either, seeing where, a current story, if they've added to it, reading the new installation or finding something new or reading just a short, short something or other story. And then, you can put your phone away and you're good to go. You're not having to lug around a book. Or Kindle or something like that. So
it's easy for something to read on my breaks at work.
Yeah.
I used to reading books. I kind of stopped after I realized reading out loud was not the best idea.
Yes. You told me that. You Blush 3 Shades of Red, or you were wanting to burst out crying because what happened.
That's the other thing too, is reading fan fiction on your phone. You can be a bit more discreet.
Yeah.
On what it is you're reading. As far as they know, you're scrolling Facebook. So, that's a subject for another episode. Fan fiction.
Yep. It's already out of now.
Yeah. The good, the bad, and the oh my goodness, my face is red.
Yes.
The good, the bad, and the lemons.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh my.
Again, that's
the rabbit hole that is fanfic, and which sites to tread with caution. The other ones, you're golden.
Yeah. But again, that's an episode for another week. But anyway, back to books.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that.
Yes. So. Anything else, books wise?
No. Not that I can think of.
I know there's a lot of good stuff out there. Listening to Traveling the Vortex, I really need to get back into the Lethbridge Stewart verse.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it sounds like they're doing some really good and interesting things with the Brigadier.
Have you guys seen the family tree that they posted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting the way things are panning out after the Christmas special. So.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, it's still Doctor Who, so
Yep.
ish. It's still in that universe. So it still counts in my book.
Yep.
Me too.
Anything else? I guess this is our opportunity for miscellany. Miscellaneous.
Not that I can think of.
Does moving count?
Oh, yeah,
I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You moved.
You moved this year. That is correct.
If Chrissy was here, I'm sure she'd say having Alex was
And you'd be chiming in very happily.
a favorite of 2017. No. Can't say we blame her. I'm sure she's a little biased, but she's allowed.
Yes, she is.
So.
You can't really think of anything else.
Yeah.
It's been kind of I feel like a lot happened, but also a lot didn't happen, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think it makes sense. 2017 was interesting.
Yeah, to say the least. That's the way to put it. Interesting.
Yeah. It was an interesting year, and 2018 is seeming to shape out to be just as interesting, I think.
Yeah.
So, we don't get political on this show for a reason, because that's a very sensitive topic. Very sensitive and hot topic for a lot of people, which is fine. That's perfectly fine, and that's why we don't get into those things. But we make this a safe space. Yes, but
a happy place.
Yeah, we do have to. I do think we have to acknowledge that the things that have been happening politically and socially have affected, or have had, some sort of effect, good or bad, on fandom.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You can see in books and comics and TV series and movies the influence, whether it's someone, commenting, on what's going on, like the X-Files did in the last episode.
Yes.
The last episode before that is episode 2.
It was the Langley episode.
Yeah, the Langley episode. Some commentary on the current, on the political climate. Even Doctor Who got some commentary in there with the whole thing with the monks. So we've seen spoofs. Sometimes it's people poking fun. Sometimes it's more serious commentary. Sometimes it's very obvious. Sometimes it's allegorical. But at the same time, there's been some positives that have come out of people's feelings. Whether they're right or not, that's not my place to say. Whether I know what I believe and my feelings on things, and I'm not going to try force how I feel on anyone else, and I don't expect anyone else to feel like they need to force what they think onto any of us. But I think there's been some very positive things that have come out of this seemingly endless dumpster fire that is our current U.S. political climate, and not just the U.S. too, in other countries too. They've seen things change, and I think in some cases for the better. I don't think things like Wonder Woman may have been, I don't know, it may have still been made. I don't think it would have been made as well. I think, movies like that benefited from the changes, the things that we're seeing in the entertainment and sports arenas, especially with women. It's it's not going to be fixed overnight.
No.
The issues that have been there, old habits die hard.
And it's a very old culture, and
it's
kind of hard to change.
Yeah, it is hard to change, but change is happening slowly but surely.
It is,
and I think it is all for the better. It's not perfect. It's not going to be an easy change. People are going to get hurt that probably don't deserve it. For every accusation, for every 10 accusations out there that may be true, unfortunately, there's going to be 1 or 2 that are false, and people's reputations are going to get hurt, and that's unfortunate. Yep. But hopefully, when the dust settles down, the cream will rise to the top, and the those that have decided that they don't want to be on the right side of history will be shown the door. And they'll be forced to figure out if they want to continue to be on the wrong side and face the consequences of that decision, or decide if they want to change for the better. I just like I said, I don't necessarily want to get political or all put on my social justice cap and hop on my soapbox, but this is the 5-ish Fangirls podcast. We are women. This podcast is intended for the most part to, I don't want to say fluff, but we do tend to talk about things that are not going to necessarily change the world.
No.
We're not going to save lives by talking about Doctor Who and the merits of the use of sonic sunglasses, but but at the same time, one of the things that I'm very proud of with this podcast is that, yes, comic books and cartoons and whatever may seem trivial to a lot of the other seemingly, quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes here, more important, serious issues that people face every day. The fact that we have this show and our listeners and are willing to listen to a bunch of women talk about the things that excite them, is, as far as fandom is concerned, is amazing. I think this is geek. The geek culture is it's unique, but at the same time it's it has some of the same hang-ups and attitudes as other kind of groups. If you get into like sports or something, you're gonna have the people that are super, super passionate about it, and you can't tell them otherwise, and then you have your more casual fans, and then you have the in-betweens, and then you have your new people that are trying to figure out what it is they like and where they want to, what is their thing going to be. Is it going to be football and you're going to be rooting for the Eagles in the Super Bowl, or are you going to be the person that gets really excited about Star Wars, but it can, even in those groups, there tends to be, the majority seems to be people of a certain demographic, and then you have fans that are still fans, but they don't fit into that seemingly large demographic, that maybe feel like they're not as representative being as represented as they would like. And us doing this podcast is part of that. You know, there's a lot of women out there that really love comic books and, you know, Star Wars and Doctor Who and all those things that seemingly on the surface seem to be male, quote unquote male. We enjoy that stuff too, and for a lot of the same reasons the guys enjoy it, and sometimes it's for different reasons. And us coming on here every week and recording this podcast and putting it out there, you know, I hope that there are other fangirls and fan women out there that maybe, you know, I really love this thing, but I seem to be the only, you know, girl in my town or, you know, in my social circle that really likes, you know, the X-Files. You know, I feel so alone. You're not alone. You know, you've got friends. We may not know each other, but, you know, if you're into something we like, you've got friends, even if you don't know them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, and that's, I think to me, you know, every year that goes by that we do this podcast, it's a highlight of the year that we've been able to come and do this show and put it out there and know people are listening and they, you know, they're following us and they care what we have to say. And I get all the warm fuzzies. And it makes me so happy. And we'll continue. Yes. You know, we're into 2018. Yes. There's plenty to talk about this coming year. You know, it's not all going to be pretty, I'm sure. Yeah. There's going to be, you know, more celebrity deaths, unfortunately, probably. You know, movies and TV shows that we're really excited about may end up being disappointments. It happens. We hope not.
Yeah. Right.
You know, you know, I've got cosplay that I'd like to get done, but I may not, and I'll be disappointed. But oh well. You know, a convention, you know, a guest may cancel at the last minute, and I'll be disappointed. But oh well. But at the end of the day, it's you know, it had a lot of pluses. It had minuses, but it had a lot of pluses, and that's a good thing, I think.
Yep.
Not I think. I know that's a good thing. Wow, that was a tangent. Anyone else have any?
Nope, nothing
That's what we do best around here. Just tangents. That's I haven't gone on a tangent on like that in a while, and we just lost Holly. Alrighty then. And
yep, I'm back. Sorry.
Okay, there you go. It's like she disappeared. No.
Yep, didn't mean for that to happen.
No. Oh.
Wrong button.
I've done that.
Whoops.
You
trying to get the screen to unlock, and then it swiped when I didn't want it to. It's like, no.
Yeah. Darn screensavers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, if I don't have anything else to add, I guess this is the point of the show where we tell our listeners if you have anything you would like to add to this conversation. Is there something in 2017 that, you know, is really a highlight for you and you want to share it? Please feel free to do so. The easiest way to do that is go to our website, which is the5ishfangirls.com. From there, you can send us feedback, or you can comment on the blog post for this particular episode if you like. You can comment on YouTube. We'll see your comments there. You can also find all of our other social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can always send us comments or direct messages on any of those. There's the link to the Traveling the Vortex book club, so make sure you go and vote for February's book, as we mentioned earlier. We read a new Doctor Who or Doctor Who related book every month and then discuss it on Goodreads. There's also the links to our Patreon. We are always so grateful to the folks that decide to give us some of their hard-earned money on Patreon. So if you want to become a Patreon supporter, you can do that for as little as $1 per month. And there are different perks depending on how much you want to give us. Or if you don't want a perk at all, it gives you the option as well when you decide to sign up and become a patron for someone. It's a little checkbox. You can say, I don't want a reward. So you can do that too. Even if you can't financially support us on Patreon, you can follow us on Patreon as well. Some posts are paid patron posts only, but occasionally we do post something that is available to the public, so you don't necessarily have to be a paid supporter to see some of our posts on Patreon. There's also the link to our Amazon affiliate link as well. So if you click on that and then shop on Amazon for whatever you need, whether it's batteries or baby blankets or a banjo, which I'm sure you can buy on Amazon, because they sell everything from A to Z. See what I did there? So you can make all your purchases on Amazon, and we will get a small kickback from Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything different, and if you have Amazon Prime, you can use that too. Get that free 2-day shipping. Everybody wins. There's also the link now to our merch. We have merch on it, so you can go to you can either click the link on our website or go to mymerch.us and look for the 5-ish Fangirls, and from there you can order t-shirts, sweatshirts, and or stickers with our logo on it. And of course, anything you do that monetarily supports our show goes right back into the show to keep it running, paying for things like our server space on Libsyn, our domain name registry, so that you can type in just the 5ishfangirls.com and save yourself a lot of typing. And then any money left over goes into the Fangirls Give Back initiative, which we are collecting, taking a portion of those monetary funds, and we'll be donating to chosen charities later this year. So, we greatly appreciate everyone's support for listening to us tangent and squee and hop up on our soapboxes. We do that every now and then, and we greatly appreciate your support. Please, even if you can't support us monetarily, please share the show. When you see it go out on Twitter or Instagram, hit that retweet button or the share button, or share it on Facebook or your Tumblr or whatever social media platform you decide to use. And if you're so inclined, please rate and leave us a review on iTunes and or Google or wherever it is you get the show from. That also helps our exposure as well. I think that's everything. Mm-hmm. I hope. Now that we have merch, there's even more to talk about when we do this end of the episode wrap up. I gotta make sure I cover it all. All right. Well, with that, we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany in Bethlehem saying goodnight.
This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. I didn't start playing it in 2017, but I played a lot of Pokemon Go in 2017. I caught a lot of Pokemon. listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by their respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.